Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Understanding Business 2024, Chapter 13. Narrated by Omar Mohsen Ibrahim Fouad. Part 5. Marketing. Developing and implementing customer-oriented marketing plans. Chapter 13. Marketing, helping buyers buy. Page 336. Learning objectives. After you have read and studied this chapter, you should be able to define marketing and apply the marketing concept to both for-profit and non-profit organizations. Define marketing and apply the marketing concept to both for-profit and non-profit organizations. Describe the 4 P's of marketing. Summarize the marketing research process. Show how marketers use environmental scanning to learn about the changing marketing environment. Explain how marketers apply the tools of market segmentation, relationship marketing, and the study of consumer behavior. Compare the business-to-business market and the consumer market. Page 337. Getting to know Emily Wise, founder of Glossier. While working as an assistant at Vogue, Emily Wise came up with an idea that would change the course of the American beauty industry. Her job at the magazine allowed her to witness the skincare and makeup routines of some of the most prominent people in fashion, secrets that she wanted to share with the world. So Wise bought a used camera and purchased a domain name for Into the Gloss, a beauty blog that soon became a blockbuster. The massive attention Wise gained from her online success allowed her to launch Glossier in 2014, a small cosmetics brand that eventually grew into a $1 billion unicorn company. Long before she broke through the big time, Wise grew up in Connecticut, obsessing over fashion. Still, she did not have many opportunities to explore the industry firsthand from her small-town environment. I have always really liked fashion, but it was totally inaccessible for me, said Wise. I didn't grow up with money to go buy designer clothes. In high school, she spotted her first opportunity to get her foot in the fashion door when she babysat for a neighbor who worked for Ralph Lauren. Wise asked the neighbor for an internship and ended up working at the company for 2 summers. Wanting to stay near the action of the industry, she enrolled in New York University, where she earned an art degree. Her time in NYC also presented her with more chances to gain valuable working experience, first as an intern with Chanel and then at Teen Vogue. At the latter publication, Wise wowed her bosses with her super intern work ethic. According to Eva Chen, a beauty editor at the time who now serves as Instagram's director of fashion partnerships, Wise had that X factor. She was a college student who clearly had a plan, so pulled together and focused. She eventually moved up from intern to fashion assistant at Vogue, where she worked on photo shoots styling famous runway icons and entertainers. After learning all sorts of beauty secrets from the best in the business, Wise launched her blog into the gloss in 2010 to make these techniques more well known to the public. One of the site's most popular features became Top Shelf, an interview segment where Wise would talk to anyone. One of the site's most popular features became Top Shelf, an interview segment where Wise would talk to everyone from Kim Kardashian to the girl with pink hair who worked at a coffee shop and had cool style. These interviews gave Wise a keen insight into what consumers looked for when buying beauty products. She also gained a steadily growing audience that began to take up more and more of her time, forcing her to choose between her blog and working at Vogue. There was a real fork in the road moment where I just couldn't do both, said Wise. I felt like I just had to take a leap. Fortunately, her risk paid off handsomely as Into the Gloss gained a major following among both consumers and powerful investors. Wise appealed to her newfound audience of deep-pocketed individuals by pitching her idea for Glossier, a beauty line that would bypass established retailers and sell directly to consumers. This was largely uncharted territory for the fashion industry, which heavily relies on major retailers for sales. Few people in fashion had Wise's knowledge of consumer tastes, though an advantage that many investors recognized and trusted. By 2014, with millions of dollars in venture capital on hand, Glossier launched with a line of just 4 products. We had no idea if anyone would even care, said Wise. So here you are sitting with a year's worth of work and products, and heart and soul and sweat and tears. How are the stakes any less high than that? Fortunately, Glossier became an instant hit thanks to the loyal fan base that Wise had spent years building. She then mobilized her enthusiastic consumers to become marketers as well, relying almost entirely on social media demonstrations from influencers to get the word out about her company. This unique strategy brought in new customers while making her old ones even more loyal. Within 5 years, Glossier was valued at more than $1.2 billion. This influx of earnings allowed the company to hire on more influencers and even celebrity spokespeople, such as pop star Olivia Rodrigo. Wise claims that this is just the beginning, though. She hopes that Glossier will keep going for 100 years as it continues to focus on products and experiences that will change how the world sees beauty for years to come. In this chapter, you'll learn how master marketers like Emily Wise identify their audience and figure out how to reach them. Whether through distribution, advertising, or publicity, successful marketing makes a connection with customers that they won't soon forget. Sources: Ezreen Benison and Katie Tritricorn. What's next for Glossier as founder Emily Wise steps down after 8 years? Vogue Business, VogueBusiness.com. May 24th, 2022. Rebecca Nicholson, Glossier founder Emily Wise. Beauty has little to do with looks. The Guardian, TheGuardian.com, December 29th, 2019. Marissa Meltzer, How Emily Wise's Glossier Grew from Millennial Catnip to Billion-Dollar Juggernaut. Vanity Fair, vanityfair.com, October 10th, 2019. Alicia Hardsani Gupta. The sunsetting of the girl boss is nearly complete. The New York Times, nytimes.com, May 26th, 2022. Kim Bessine. Glossier founder Emily Wise to step down as CEO of beauty brand. Bloomberg, bloomberg.com, May 24th, 2022. Glossier, glossier.com, accessed March 2023. Brad Marquette and Getty Images Entertainment and Getty Images, page 338. Name that company. This company found success by studying the consumer market. While you may be familiar with its best-selling typical product varieties, this firm slightly alters many of its recipes based on the location of its market. Name that company. Find the answer in the chapter. What is marketing? LO 13-1. Define marketing and apply the marketing concept to both for-profit and non-profit organizations. The term marketing means different things to different people. Many think of marketing as simply selling or advertising. While selling and advertising are part of the marketing process, there's much more involved. The American Marketing Association has defined marketing as the activity, set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. We can also think of marketing more simply as the activities buyers and sellers perform to facilitate mutually satisfying exchanges. In the past, marketing focused almost entirely on helping the seller sell. That's why many people still think of it as mostly selling, advertising, and distribution from the seller to the buyer. Today, much of marketing is instead about helping the buyer buy. Let's take a look at a couple of examples. Today, when people want to buy a new or used car, they often go online first. For example, they can first use the Edmunds website or mobile app to search for the vehicle they want. Then they can navigate to other companies' platforms to compare prices and features. By the time they go to the dealer or visit an online car retailer like Carvana, they may know exactly which car they want and the best price available. Websites and mobile apps have helped the buyer buy. Not only are customers spared searching one dealership after another to find the best price, but manufacturers and dealers are eager to participate so that they don't lose customers. The future of marketing is doing everything you can to help the buyer buy. The easier a marketer makes the purchase decision process, the more that marketer will sell. Let's look at another example. In the past, one of the few ways students and parents or other caregivers could find the right college was to travel from campus to campus. This is not just tiring, but it can be an expensive process. Today, colleges use virtual tours, live chats, and other interactive technologies to make on-campus visits less necessary. Such virtual tools help students and sometimes their caregivers buy. Of course, helping the buyer buy also helps the seller sell. Think about that for a minute. In the vacation market, many people find the trip they want themselves. They go online to find the right spot and then make choices, sometimes questioning potential sellers. In industries like this, the role of marketing is to make sure that a company's products or services are easily found online, and that the company responds effectively to potential customers. Sites like Expedia, Travelocity, and TripAdvisor help customers find the lowest prices. These are only a few examples of the marketing trend toward helping buyers buy. Consumers today spend hours searching online for good deals, and not just on specific company websites or apps. Wise marketers know that social media offer access to a wealth of information and help cultivate customer relationships through Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram feeds. Page 339. Social media provide opportunities to observe people, customers, and others interacting, expressing their own opinions, forming relationships, and commenting on various goods and services. It is important for marketers to track what content creators are writing by searching feeds, using key terms that define their market. Vendors who have text mining tools can help companies measure conversations about their products and their personnel. Much of the future of marketing lies in mining such online interactions and responding appropriately. For example, marketers are learning why online shoppers will add goods to their shopping cart, but then leave the sale before they give their credit card information. The evolution of marketing. What marketers do at any particular time depends on what they need to do to fill customers' needs and wants, which are continually changing. Let's take a brief look at how those changes have influenced the evolution of marketing. Marketing in the United States has passed through 4 eras. 1. Production. 2. Selling. 3. Marketing concept. And 4. Customer relationship. Today, a new era is quickly emerging: mobile and on-demand marketing. See Figure 13.1. Figure 13.1. Marketing eras. The evolution of marketing in the United States involved 4 eras. 1. Production. 2. Selling. 3. Marketing concept. And 4. Customer relationship. Today, a new era is emerging: mobile and on-demand marketing. Production, selling, marketing concept, customer relationship. The production era. From the time the first European settlers began their struggle to survive in America until the early 1900s, the general philosophy of business was produce as much as you can because there is a limitless market for it. Given the limited production capability and vast demand for products in those days, that production philosophy was both logical and profitable. Business owners were mostly farmers, carpenters, and trade workers. They needed to produce more and more, so their goals centered on production. The selling era. By the 1920s, businesses had developed mass production techniques such as assembly lines, and production capacity often exceeded By the 1920s, businesses had developed mass production techniques such as assembly lines, and production capacity often exceeded the immediate market demand. Therefore, the business philosophy turned from producing to selling. Most companies emphasized selling and advertising in an effort to persuade consumers to buy existing products. Few offered extensive service after the sale. The marketing concept era. After World War II ended in 1945, returning soldiers, beginning new careers, and starting families sparked a tremendous demand for goods and services. The post-war years launched the sudden increase in the birth rate that brought baby boomers into the world. There was also a second boom, a boom in consumer spending. Competition for the consumer's dollar was fierce. Businesses recognized that they needed to be responsive to consumers if they wanted to get their business, and a philosophy emerged in the 1950s called the marketing concept. Page 340. The marketing concept had three parts. 1. A customer orientation. Find out what consumers want and provide it for them. Note the emphasis on meeting consumer needs rather than on promotion or sales. 2. A service orientation. Make sure everyone in the organization has the same objective, customer satisfaction. This should be a total and integrated organizational effort. That is, everyone from the president of the company to the delivery people should be customer oriented. Does that seem to be the norm today? 3. A profit orientation. Focus on those goods and services that will earn the most profit and enable the organization to survive and expand to serve more consumer wants and needs. It took a while for businesses to implement the marketing concept. The process went slowly during the 1960s and 1970s. During the 1980s, businesses began to apply the marketing concept more aggressively than they had done over the preceding 30 years. That led to a focus on customer relationship management, CRM, that has become very important today. We explore that concept next. The customer relationship era. In the 1990s and early 2000s, some managers extended the marketing concept by adopting the practice of customer relationship management. Customer relationship management, CRM, is the process of learning as much as possible about present customers and doing everything you can over time to satisfy them, or even to exceed their expectations with goods and services. The idea is to enhance customer satisfaction and stimulate long-term customer loyalty. For example, airlines offer frequent flyer programs that reward loyal customers with freebies like upgrades, baggage fee waivers, and cheaper flights. The newest in customer relationship building, as mentioned earlier, involves social media. Clearly, consumer dissatisfaction still exists, especially with services like airlines. With social media involvement, the whole world can learn of a person's dissatisfaction due to flight delays or baggage losses in an instant. This shows that marketers have a long way to go to create customer satisfaction and encourage loyalty. Shaw shots and Alamy stock photo. In the selling era, the focus of marketing was on selling, with little service afterward and less customization. What economic and social factors made this approach appropriate for the time? The emerging mobile and on-demand marketing era. The digital age is increasing consumers' power and pushing marketing toward being on demand, not just always on. Consumers are demanding relevant information the moment they want it, without all the noise of unwanted messages. Search technologies have made product information pervasive. Consumers share, compare, and rate experiences through social media and with mobile devices. It's all available 24/7. Developments such as inexpensive microtransmitters embedded in products will allow consumers to search by image, voice, or gestures. For example, if your friend has a product you like, you can just tap it with your phone and instantly get products, reviews, prices, and so on. For example, if your friend has a product you like, you can just tap it with your phone and instantly get product reviews, prices, and so on. If you can't decide what color to buy, you can just post a photo to social media and followers can vote for their favorite. After you buy it, you will get special offers from the manufacturer or its partners for similar products or services. As digital technology continues to grow, consumer demands are likely to rise in four areas. 1. Now, consumers want to interact anywhere, anytime. 2. Can I? They want to do new things with different kinds of information in ways that create value for them. For example, a couple wanting to know if they can afford to buy a house they walk by could simply snap the QR code on the for sale sign. They then can instantly see the asking price and other property information. At the same time, the device will automatically access their financial information, contact mortgagors, and obtain loan pre-approval. 3. For me, consumers expect all data stored about them to be used to personalize what they experience. 4. Simple. Consumers expect all interactions to be easy. Companies will be looking for employees who can improve the business's handling of social media and customer experiences. The nearby adapting to change box highlights how companies changed advertising strategies when the COVID-19 pandemic began in 2020. Page 341. Adapting to change. How the pandemic reshaped digital marketing. The onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in early 2020 changed the way the whole world lived in dramatic ways. The way we worked, the way we shopped, the way we educated our kids, the list could go on. As millions of employees stopped commuting to the office and started working from home instead, the effects of this historic shift forced marketers to adapt their strategies to an environment where consumers were largely confined to their homes. As a result, companies invested greatly in digital marketing efforts while reducing their budgets for traditional advertising like billboards, direct mail, or television spots. Even companies that hadn't depended on digital marketing before. For example, the activewear company Vori largely depended on catalogs to drive sales until the pandemic arrived and CEO Joe Kudla noticed something interesting. Not only were the prices dropping for ads on Facebook and Instagram, both owned by Meta, but more people were clicking through Vori's banner ads than ever before. Kudla then halted production on the company's catalog and its other direct mail efforts, pouring all that money instead into digital advertising. His plan worked wonderfully. Sales quadrupled, while Meta also provided vital feedback on customers that Vori never would have received in the past. We could identify the age, demo, and behavior, but ultimately the algorithm is much more powerful in terms of identifying people who demonstrate certain shopping behaviors, said Kudla. Mondelez International. Igor Golovnyov, and SOPA Images and Zuma Wire and Alamy Stock Photo. Another organization that agrees with this assessment is the snack giant Mondelez International, which found that it receives 25% better returns through digital marketing than advertising on television. In fact, more than half of the company's $1.1 billion marketing budget goes toward digital marketing, due in large part to the useful metrics that services like Meta provide. I can't go to CNN or other platforms and be able to get that intelligence, said Mondelez Vice President Jonathan Halverson. So while the pandemic convinced some companies to start reaching out to customers online, the valuable data provided by digital marketing is what will keep them committed to this strategy in the long term. Sources: Kimberly Whitler, 9 Ways the Pandemic Has Changed Marketing and Marketers. Forbes, Forbes.com, February 7th, 2022. Keach Hagee and Suzanne Vranica, How COVID-19 Supercharged the Advertising Triopoly. How COVID-19 supercharged the advertising triopoly of Google, Facebook, and Amazon. The Wall Street Journal, WSJ.com, March 19, 2021. Charting Growth in a Post-Pandemic Era. Marketinginteractive.com, January 30th, 2023. Nonprofit Organizations and Marketing. Even though the marketing concept emphasizes a profit orientation, marketing is a critical part of almost all organizations, including nonprofits. Charities use marketing to raise funds for combating world hunger, for instance, or to obtain other sources. Charities use marketing to raise funds for combating world hunger, for instance, or to obtain other resources. The American Red Cross uses promotion to encourage people to donate blood when local or national supplies run low. Greenpeace uses marketing to promote ecologically safe technologies. Environmental groups use marketing to try to cut carbon emissions. Churches use marketing to attract new members and raise funds. Politicians use marketing to get votes. Page 342. States use marketing to attract new businesses and tourists. Many states, for example, have competed to get automobile companies from other countries to locate plants in their area. Schools use marketing to attract new students. Other organizations, such as arts groups, unions, and social groups, also use marketing. The Ad Council, for example, uses public service ads to create awareness and change attitudes on such issues as drunk driving and texting, and fire prevention. If you're thinking about texting your ex, you're probably not okay to drive. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. Buzzed driving is drunk driving, and HTSA Ad Council. The Ad Council sponsors many public service ads, such as this one against buzzed driving. The idea is to make the public more aware of various issues and to encourage them to get engaged. Have you responded to any Ad Council advertisements? Organizations use marketing, in fact, to promote everything from environmentalism and crime prevention. Take a bite out of crime to social issues. Friends don't let friends drive drunk. marketing mix, LO 13-2. Describe the 4Ps of marketing. We can divide much of what marketing managers do into 4 factors called the 4Ps to make them easy to remember. They are 1. Product, 2. Price, 3. Place, 4. Promotion. Make a Grahil connect. I see it. Need help understanding the marketing mix? Click on the video for a brief animated explanation. Managing the controllable parts of the marketing process means 1. Designing a want-satisfying product. 2. Setting a price for the product. 3. Putting the product in a place where people will buy it. And 4. Promoting the product. These 4 factors are called the marketing mix because businesses blend them together in a well-designed marketing program. See Figure 13.2. Figure 13.2, Marketing Managers and the Marketing Mix. Marketing managers must choose how to implement the 4 Ps of the marketing mix: product, price, place, and promotion. The goals are to please customers and make a profit. Marketing manager, marketing mix, product, price, place, promotion. Page 343. Applying the marketing process. The 4 Ps are a convenient way. The 4 Ps are a convenient way to remember the basics of marketing, but they don't necessarily include everything that goes into the marketing process for all products. One of the best ways to understand the entire marketing process is to take a group or a group of products and follow the process that led to their development and sale. See Figure 13.3. Figure 13.3, the marketing process with the 4 Ps. Find opportunities, conduct research, identify a target market. Product, design a product to meet the need based on research, do product testing. Price, determine a brand name, design a package and set a price. Place, select a distribution system. promotion, design a promotional program, build a relationship with customers. Imagine that you and your friends want to start a business near your college. Your preliminary research indicates some demand for fast, fresh, flavorful food that is preservative-free, chemical-free, cage-free, and antibiotic-free. You check the fast food locations in the area and find that they offer little to no information about the meats and vegetables they use, other than proclaiming them to be fresh. And the vegetables are available only as salads. You note the farm-to-table trend, documenting the food's path from its start at the farm to your plate on the table, continues to grow nationwide. However, it appears in higher-level restaurants and some grocery stores in your area, but not in fast food restaurants. You've just performed the first few steps in the marketing process. You noticed an opportunity, a need for healthy, fresh, fast food, perhaps near campus. You conducted some preliminary research to see whether your idea had any merit. And then you identified groups of people who might be interested in your product. They will be your target market, the people you will try to persuade to come to your restaurant. Designing a product to meet consumer needs. Once you've researched consumer needs and found a target market, which we'll discuss in more detail later, for your product, the 4 P's of marketing come into play. You start by developing a product or products. A product is any physical good, service, or idea that satisfies a want or need, plus anything that would enhance the product in the eyes of consumers, such as the brand name. In this case, your proposed product is a restaurant that would serve different kinds of fresh, healthy meals at an affordable price. It is a good idea at this point to do concept testing. That is, you develop an accurate description of your restaurant and ask people, in person or online, whether the idea of the restaurant and the kind of meals you intend to offer appeals to them. If it does, you might go to a local farm that offers chemical-free produce. If it does, you might go to a local farm that offers chemical-free produce to get the ingredients to prepare samples of salads, wraps, and bowls that you can take to consumers to test their reactions. This process of testing products among potential users is called test marketing. For example, you can test market your preservative-free dishes and learn how best to prepare them. Page 344. Claudia Totter and Moment and Getty Images. A vegetarian restaurant might fill a popular need in the neighborhood of many campuses today. Is there one near your school? What can you tell about its manager's application of the 4 P's of marketing: product, price, place, and promotion? If consumers like the products and agree they would buy them, you have the information you need to find investors and look for a convenient location to open a restaurant. You have to think of a catchy name. For practice, stop for a minute and try to think of one. We'll use Harvest Gold with the tagline "Fresh from the Farm" in this text, although we're sure you can think of a better name. Meanwhile, let's continue with the discussion of product development. You may want to offer some well-known brand names to attract people right away. A brand name is a word, letter, or group of words or letters that differentiates one seller's goods and services from those of competitors. Brand names of clean organic juice products include Odwalla, Suja, and Naked. We'll discuss the product development process in detail in Chapter 14 and follow Harvest Gold case to show you how all marketing and other business decisions tie together. For now, we're simply sketching the whole marketing process to give you an overall picture. So far, we've covered the first P of the marketing mix, product. Next comes price, setting an appropriate price. After you've decided what products and services you want to offer consumers, you have yet to appropriate prices. Those prices depend on a number of factors. In the restaurant business, the price could be close to what other restaurants charge to stay competitive. In the restaurant business, the price could be close to what other restaurants charge to stay competitive. Or you might charge less to bring in new customers, especially when you first open. Or you may offer high quality products for which customers are willing to pay a little more, as Starbucks does. You also have to consider the costs of producing, distributing, and promoting the product, which all influence your price. We'll discuss pricing issues in more detail in Chapter 14. Getting the product to the right place. There are several ways you can serve the market for healthy meals. You can have people come in, sit down, and eat at the restaurant. But that's not the only alternative. Think of pizza. You could deliver the food to customers, dorms, apartments, and student unions. You may want to sell your products in supermarkets or natural food stores, or through organizations that specialize in distributing food products. Such intermediaries are the middle links in a series of organizations that distribute goods from producers to consumers. The more traditional word for them is middlemen. Getting the product to consumers when and where they want it is critical to market success. We'll discuss the importance of marketing intermediaries and distribution in detail in Chapter 15. Developing an effective promotional strategy. The last of the 4 P's of marketing is promotion. Promotion consists of all the techniques sellers use to inform people about and motivate them to buy their products or services. Promotion includes advertising, personal selling, public relations, publicity, word of mouth, viral marketing, and various sales promotion efforts such as coupons, rebates, samples, and cents off deals. Page 345. Promotion often includes relationship building with customers. Among other activities, that means responding to suggestions consumers make to improve the products of their marketing, including price and packaging. For Harvest Gold, post-purchase or after-sale, service may include refusing payment for meals that weren't satisfactory and stocking additional healthy products customers say they would like. Listening to customers and responding to their needs are key to the ongoing process that is marketing. Test prep. What does it mean to help the buyer buy? What are the 3 parts of the marketing concept? What are the 4 P's of the marketing mix? Providing marketers with information. LO 13-3. Summarize the marketing research process. Every decision in the marketing process depends on information. When marketers conduct marketing research, they analyze markets to determine opportunities and challenges, and to find the information they need to make good decisions. Marketing research helps identify what products customers have purchased in the past and what changes have occurred to alter what they want now or what they're likely to want in the future. Marketers also conduct research on business trends, global trends, the ecological impact of their decisions, and more. Businesses need information to compete effectively, and marketing research is the activity that gathers it. You have learned, for example, how important research is when thinking of starting a healthy fast food restaurant. Besides listening to customers, marketing researchers also pay attention to what employees, shareholders, dealers, consumer advocates, media representatives, and other stakeholders have to say. As noted earlier, much of that research is now being gathered online through social media. Despite all that research, however, marketers still have difficulty understanding their customers as well as they should. The marketing research process. A simplified marketing research process consists of at least 4 key steps. 1. Defining the question, the problem, or opportunity, and determining the present situation. 2. Collecting research data. 3. Analyzing the research data. 4. Choosing the best solution and implementing it. The following sections look at each of these steps. Defining the question and determining the present situation. Marketing researchers need the freedom to discover what the present situation is, what the problems or opportunities are, what the alternatives are, what information they need, and how to go about gathering and analyzing data. Page 346. Collecting data. Usable information is vital to the marketing research process. Research can become quite expensive, however, so marketers must often make a trade-off between the need for information and the cost of obtaining it. Normally, the least expensive method is to gather information already compiled by others and published in journals, books, or online materials. Such existing data is called secondary data, since you aren't the first one to gather it. Figure 13.4 lists the principal sources of secondary marketing research information. Despite the name, secondary data is what marketers should gather first to avoid incurring unnecessary expense. To find secondary data about the farm-to-table movement, go to 1000ecofarms.com. Figure 13.4. Selected sources of primary and secondary information. Primary sources: interviews, government publications, surveys, observation, statistical abstract of the United States, secondary sources, census of transportation, focus groups, government publications, focus groups, primary sources, survey of current businesses, secondary sources, annual survey of manufacturers, online surveys, primary source, census of retail trade, questionnaires, primary sources, customer comments, primary sources, letters from customers, primary sources, commercial publications, Nielsen Company studies on retailing and media. J.D. Power offers consumer insights, data analytics, and advisory services. Selling areas Marketing Incorporated reports on food sales. Magazines. Entrepreneur. Journal of Retailing Black Enterprise. Bloomberg Business Week. Journal of Consumer Research, Trade Magazines Appropriate. Fortune, Journal of Advertising to your industry, such as INC, Journal of Marketing Research, Progressive Grocer. Ad Age, Marketing News, reports from various chambers of commerce. Forbes, Hispanic Business Journal. Harvard Business Review, Journal of Advertising Research, Journal of Marketing. Newspapers, The Wall Street Journal, Barron's, your local newspaper. Internal sources, company records, income statements, balance sheets, prior research reports, general sources, internet searches, commercial databases, Google type searches. Often, secondary data doesn't provide all the information managers need for important business decisions. To gather additional in-depth information, marketers must do their own research. The results of such new studies are called primary data. And one way to gather primary data is to conduct a survey. Page 347. Chet Strange and the Washington Post and Getty Images. We, the authors of this text, enjoy the benefits of using focus groups. College faculty and students come to these meetings and tell us how to improve this book and its support material. We listen carefully and make as many changes as we can in response. Suggestions have included adding more descriptive captions to the photos in the book and making the text as user-friendly as possible. How are we doing so far? Surveys completed online, by phone or by mail, and personal interviews are the most common forms of primary data collection. Focus groups, defined below, are another popular method of surveying individuals. What do you think would be the best way to survey students about your potential new restaurant? Would you do a different kind of survey after it had been open a few months? How could you help people find your restaurant? That is, how could you help your buyers buy? One question researchers pay close attention to is, would you recommend this product to a friend? A focus group is a group of people who meet under the direction of a discussion leader to communicate their opinions about an organization, its products, or other given issues. This textbook is updated periodically using many focus groups made up of faculty and students. They tell us, the authors, what subjects and examples they like and dislike, and we follow their suggestions for changes. Marketers also gather both secondary and primary data online. For example, we, the authors, do much research online, but we also gather data from books, articles, interviews, and other sources. Analyzing the research data. Marketers must turn the data they collect in the research process into useful information. Careful, honest interpretation of the data can help a company find useful alternatives to specific marketing challenges. For example, by doing primary research, Fresh Italy, a small Italian pizzeria, found that its pizza's taste was rated superior to that of the larger pizza chains. However, the company's sales lagged behind the competition's. Secondary research on the industry revealed that delivery, which Fresh Italy did not offer, was more important to customers than taste. Fresh Italy now delivers and has increased its market share. Choosing the best solution and implementing it. After collecting and analyzing data, marketing researchers determine alternative strategies. After collecting and analyzing data, marketing researchers determine alternative strategies and make recommendations about which may be best and why. This final step in a research effort also includes a follow-up on actions taken to see whether the results were what were expected. If not, the company can take corrective action and conduct new studies in its ongoing attempt to provide consumer satisfaction at the lowest cost. You can see then that marketing research is a continuous process of responding to changes in the marketplace and in consumer preferences. Page 348. The marketing environment, LO 13-4. Show how marketers use environmental scanning to learn about the changing marketing environment. Marketing managers must be aware of the surrounding environment when making marketing mix decisions. Environmental scanning is the process of identifying factors that can affect marketing success. As you can see in Figure 13.5, they include global, technological, socio-cultural, competitive, and economic influences. We discussed these factors in some detail in Chapter 1, but now let's review them strictly from a marketing perspective. Figure 13.5, the marketing environment, socio-cultural, population shifts, values, attitudes, trends, competitive, speed, service, price, selection, economic, GDP, disposable income, competition, unemployment, global, trade agreements, competition, trends, opportunities, internet, technological, computers, telecommunications, barcodes, data interchange, internet changes, consumer, product, place, promotion, price. Global factors. By going online, businesses reach many of the world's consumers relatively easy and carry on a dialogue with them about the goods and services they want. The globalization process puts more pressure on those whose responsibility it is to deliver products to these global customers. Technological factors. The most important technological changes also relate to the internet, using consumer databases, blogs, social media, and the like. Companies can develop products and services that closely match consumers' needs. As you read in Chapter 9, firms can now produce customized goods and services for about the same price as mass-produced goods. Thus, flexible manufacturing and mass customization are also major influences on marketers. Check out the Spotlight on Small Business box. You can imagine, for example, using databases to help you devise custom-made salads and various dishes for your customers
at Harvest Gold, page 349. Open Spotlight on Small Business, making everything made to order. PersonaNutrition.com. Think of some of the most basic items you buy: toothpaste, hair care, sports drinks, skincare, everyday products you've likely bought over and over. Instead of purchasing your usual brands, what if you could have a shampoo designed for your exact hair type? Or a vitamin regimen tailored for your body's specific needs? Would you make the switch? More and more Americans expect to have a personalized experience when shopping. In fact, 80% of consumers are more likely to buy from a company that creates customized experiences by offering products based on their suggestions. At the vitamin company Persona Nutrition, for instance, customers receive daily personalized vitamin and herbal capsule packs after filling out an extensive questionnaire that determines their individual wants and needs. Every detail matters to Persona, not just your gender and age. What medicines you take, what you eat, your exercise routine, and your health goals all play a factor in what goes into your supplemental vitamin needs. From there, you can also specify if you're looking for vegan or allergen-free products. Greg Barrett and Getty Images Entertainment and Getty Images. Persona Nutrition started as a small-scale venture out of Snoqualmie, Washington, called Vitamin Packs in 2016 and quickly grew before being acquired by Nestle in 2019. Since then, it's become big business as Nestle hopes to get its piece of the $123 billion vitamin market pie. As the supplements market looks to grow to over $280 billion by 2030, other large corporations like Bayer and Pharmavite are also starting to break into customization. Maybe soon all our products will be tailored to us. Sources: Stephanie Anderson Whitmer. Trendy vitamins are all over social media. But are they all they're cracked up to be? Prevention.com. January 25th, 2022. Dietary supplements market is set to attain $288.5 billion revenue by 2030, says P&S Intelligence. Yahoo Finance, yahoo.com. May 2nd, 2022. Moira Lawler. What are personalized vitamins and do you need them? Everyday Health, everydayhealth.com. June 16th, 2022. Persona Nutrition, personanutrition.com. Accessed March 2023. Sociocultural factors. Marketers must constantly monitor social trends to maintain their close relationship with customers, since population growth and changing demographics can have an effect on sales. As boomers age, one of the fastest growing segments of the U.S. population is people over 65. This increase in the number of older adults creates growing demand for retirement communities, healthcare, prescription drugs, recreation, continuing education, and more. Do you see any evidence that older people would enjoy having more locally sourced farm fresh meals? Other shifts in the U.S. population are creating new challenges for marketers as they adjust their products to meet the tastes and preferences held by people of Hispanic, Asian, and many other ethnic descents. To appeal to diverse groups, marketers must listen better and be more responsive to unique ethnic needs. What might you do to appeal to specific groups with Harvest Gold? Page 350. Competitive factors. Of course, marketers must pay attention to the dynamic competitive environment. Traditionally, brick and mortar companies must stay aware and in line with online competition. For example, in the book business, Barnes and Noble had to adjust to the reality of Amazon's huge selection of books at good prices. Barnes and Noble answered the challenge from Amazon's Kindle with its own e-reader, the Nook. The company is trying to avoid the fate of other brick-and-mortar bookstores, such as Borders, since consumers can literally search the world for the best deals with just their phones. Marketers must continuously adjust their pricing, delivery, and services accordingly. What opportunities do you see for Harvest Gold to make use of the internet and social media? Economic factors. Marketers must pay close attention to the economic environment. When the United States experiences slow growth, few customers are eager to buy the most expensive automobiles, watches, and vacations. When the economy slows, marketers adapt by offering products that are less expensive and more tailored to consumers with modest incomes. What economic changes are occurring around your school that might affect a new restaurant? How would an economic crisis, such as a recession or another pandemic, affect your marketing plan? Two different markets, consumer and business to business B2B. Marketers must know as much as possible about the market they wish to serve. As we defined it in Chapter 6, a market consists of people with unsatisfied wants and needs, who have both the resources and the willingness to buy. There are two major markets in business: the consumer market and the business-to-business market. The consumer market consists of all the individuals or households that want goods and services for personal consumption or use and have the resources to buy them. The business-to-business market consists of all the individuals and organizations that want goods and services to use in producing other goods and services or to sell, rent, or supply goods to others. Oil drilling bits, point-of-sale systems, display cases, office desks, public accounting audits, and business software are B2B goods and services. Traditionally, they have been known as industrial goods and services because they are used in industry. View stock and Alamy stock photo. The business-to-business B2B market consists of individuals and organizations that sell goods and services to other businesses. A car manufacturer, for instance, buys parts like tires in the B2B market. The important thing to remember is that the buyer's reason for buying, that is, the end use of the product, determines whether a product is a consumer product or a B2B product. A cup of yogurt that a student buys for breakfast is a consumer product. However, when Harvest Gold purchases the same cup of yogurt to sell to its breakfast customers, it has purchased a B2B product. The following sections outline consumer and B2B markets. Test prep. What are the 4 steps in the marketing research process?
What is environmental scanning? What factors are included in environmental scanning? Page 351. The consumer market. LO 13-5. Explain how marketers apply the tools of market segmentation, relationship marketing, and the study of consumer behavior. The total potential consumer market consists of the billions of people in global markets. Because consumer groups differ greatly by age, education level, income, and taste, a business usually can't fill the needs of every group. It must decide which groups to serve and then develop products and services specifically tailored to their needs. Take the Campbell Soup Company, for example. You know Campbell for its traditional soups, such as chicken noodle and Yamato. You may also have noticed that Campbell has expanded its U.S. product line to appeal to a number of different tastes. Aware of population growths in the South and in Latin communities and cities across the nation, it introduced a Creole soup for the Southern market and a red bean soup for the market consisting of people of Latin descent. In Texas and California, where people like their food with a bit of a kick, Campbell makes its nacho cheese soup spicier than in other parts of the country. It's just one company that has had some success. It's just one company that has had some success studying the consumer market, breaking it down into categories and developing products for separate groups. The process of dividing the total market into groups with similar characteristics is called market segmentation. Selecting which groups or segments an organization can serve profitability. Selecting which groups or segments an organization can serve profitably is target marketing. For example, a shoe store may choose to sell only women's shoes, only children's shoes, or only athletic shoes. The issue is finding the right target market, the most profitable segment to serve. Segmenting the consumer market. A firm can segment the consumer market several ways. See figure 13.6. Rather than selling your product throughout the United States, you might focus on just one or two regions where you can be most successful. Say southern states such as Florida, Texas, and South Carolina. Dividing a market by cities, counties, states, or regions is geographic segmentation. Page 352. Figure 13.6. Market segmentation. This table shows some of the methods marketers use to divide the market. The aim of segmentation is to break the market into smaller units. Main dimension, sample variables, typical segments. Geographic segmentation. Region, Northeast, Midwest, Southwest. City or county size, under 5,000, 5,000 to 10,999, 11,000 to 19,999, 20,000 to 49,999, 50,000 and up. Density, urban, suburban, rural. Demographic segmentation. Gender, male, female, non-binary. Age, under 5, 5 to 10, 11 to 18, 19 to 34,
35 to 49, 50 to 64, 65 and over. Education. Some high school or less, high school graduate, some college, college graduate, postgraduate. Race. White, black, Asian, Hispanic. Nationality. American, Asian, Eastern European, Japanese. Life stage, infant, preschool, child, teenager, collegiate, adult, older adult. Income under 15,000 to 24,999, 25,000 to 44,999, 45,000 to 74,999, 75,000 and over. Household size 1, 2, 3 to 4, 5 or more. Occupation professional, technical, clerical, sales supervisor, farmer, student, home-based, business owner, retired, unemployed. Psychographic segmentation, personality, gregarious, compulsive, extroverted, aggressive, ambitious. Values, actualizers, fulfillers, achievers, experiencers, believers, strivers, makers, strugglers. Lifestyle, upscale, moderate. Benefit segmentation, comfort. Benefit segmentation divides an already established market into smaller, more homogeneous segments. Those people who desire economy in a car would be an example. The benefit desired varies by product. Durability, economy, comfort, convenience, durability, economy, health, luxury, safety, status. Volume segmentation, usage, heavy users, light users, non-users. Loyalty status, none, medium, strong. Alternatively, you could aim your product's promotion toward people aged 25 to 45 who have some college education and above average incomes. Automobiles such as Lexus are often targeted to this audience. Age, income, and education level are criteria for demographic segmentation. So are religion, race, and occupation. Demographics are the most widely used segmentation variable, but not necessarily the best. You may want your ads to portray a target group's lifestyle. To do that, you would study the group's personality, values, and lifestyle in a strategy called psychographic segmentation. For example, if you want to target Gen Z, you would do an in-depth study of their values and interests, like which shows they watch, what apps they use to watch those shows, what social media they prefer, and which celebrities and content creators they follow. With that information, you would develop advertisements using those individuals instead of people of a different generation, like millennials. Some marketers prefer ethnographic segmentation. Basically, using such segmentation resembles using psychographic segmentation, in that marketers talk with consumers and learn about the product from their perspective. Often customers have an entirely different view of your product than you do. In marketing for Harvest Gold, what benefits of fresh organic food would you talk about? Should you emphasize health benefits, taste, or something else? Determining which product benefits your target market prefers, determining which market benefit your target market prefers, and using those benefits to promote a product is benefit segmentation.
You can also determine who are the biggest consumers of healthy food. Does your restaurant seem to attract more students or more faculty members? Are your repeat customers from the local community? Are your repeat customers from the local community or are they commuters? Separating the market by volume of product use is called volume or usage segmentation. Once you know who your customer base is, you can design your promotions to better appeal to that specific group or groups. The best segmentation strategy is to use all the variables to come up with a consumer profile that represents a sizable, reachable, and profitable target market. That may mean not segmenting the market at all, and instead going after the total market, everyone. Or it may mean going after even smaller segments. We'll discuss that strategy next. McGraw-Hill Connect. I see it. Need help understanding how marketers segment target market? Click on the video for a brief animated explanation. Reaching smaller market segments. Niche marketing is identifying small but profitable market segments and designing or finding products for them because it so easily offers an unlimited choice of goods. Online retail transformed a consumer culture once based on big hits and bestsellers into one that supports more specialized niche products, with only between 6 and 10% of Americans identifying themselves as full-time vegetarians or vegans. What types of plant-based options do you think Harvest Gold might sell to this niche market? One-to-one marketing means developing a unique mix of goods and services for each individual customer. Travel agencies often develop such packages, including airline reservations, hotel reservations, rental cars, restaurants, and admission to museums and other attractions for individual customers. This is relatively easy to do in B2B markets, business-to-business markets, where each customer may buy in huge volume. But one-to-one marketing is possible in consumer markets as well. Computer companies like HP, Dell, and Apple can produce a unique computer for each customer. Can you envision designing special Harvest Gold menu items for individual customers? Page 353. Chon Kit Leong and Alamy Stock Photo. Bass Pro Shops offer a vast array of products for the wide range of outdoor enthusiasts who visit its stores. Dividing its market into identifiable segments is crucial to the success of the company. What different market segments do you think the company targets? Building marketing relationships. In the world of mass production following the Industrial Revolution, marketers responded by practicing mass marketing. Mass marketing means developing products and promotions to please large groups of people. That is, there is little market segmentation. The mass marketer tries to sell the same products to as many people as possible. That means using mass media such as TV, radio, and online ads to reach them. Although mass marketing led many firms to success, marketing managers often got so caught up with their products and competition that they became less responsive to the market. Airlines, for example, are so intent on meeting and beating competition that they often annoy their customers. Relationship marketing tends to lead away from mass production and toward custom-made goods and services. The goal is to keep individual customers over time by offering them new products that exactly meet their requirements. Technology and social media enable sellers to work with individual buyers to determine their wants and needs and to develop goods and services specifically designed for them, like hand-tailored shirts and unique vacations. Take a look at the nearby Connecting Through Social Media box to see how companies are capitalizing on their customer base's user-generated content like unboxing and review videos. To improve offerings to individuals. Page 354. Connecting through social media. When social media help create products. Chipotle.com. How often have you opened your phone and given your thumb a workout as you scrolled through a multitude of videos? Whether you're checking out TikTok or Instagram Reels, you're willfully being fed hours of user-generated content. UGC. UGC is original brand-specified content created by customers that is published on social media or other channels. It comes in many forms, including images, videos, reviews, and testimonials. A recent survey showed that 79% of customers are highly swayed by UGC when making their purchasing decisions. In fact, they are more influenced by UGC than by content created by the brands themselves. And businesses, both large and small, know it. That means companies realize they can use UGC to sell their current products to you now, plus find out what new products you might buy in the future. YouTubers have been releasing unboxing and review videos for the better part of a decade. However, these were often long, dry, and rambling videos that could be 20 minutes or longer. Companies were aware of these videos and addressed any concerns privately with the creator, but there wasn't much back and forth between creator and commenter, or commenter and company. However, when the more palatable, bite-sized offerings of TikTok came on the scene, customers were suddenly given the quick and stimulating videos they wanted and were actively engaging with creators. Businesses were also able to collect data, so much data. TikTok. Now, because of your popular creators in UGC, customers are essentially becoming part of the marketing team. Marketers see what customers are clamoring for and can quickly deliver. Whether it's learning customers want more skin tone options, whether it's learning customers want more skin tone options for making a whether it's learning customers want more skin tone options for makeup or menu offerings for a restaurant, marketers can immediately see the demand and start the process of introducing the new product. When Keith Lee and Alexis Frost, shown here, both made videos showing their Chipotle orders, people ran to their stories. People ran to stores to try their quesadilla creations. The problem, Chipotle didn't actually offer those options on its menu. Customers were let down and made their voices heard on social media. Weeks later, Chipotle started offering the quesadilla. Rival restaurant Qdoba also jumped in with its own version, without the UGC of Lee and Frost. These restaurants probably wouldn't have known customers' wants until diving deeper into the expensive product development process. As the amount of UGC continues to grow along with the data that comes with it, we will keep seeing faster responses to customers' wants. What products have you seen come from UGC? Sources: Timothy Penasek. Why consumers are new product developers. Forbes.com. February 15th, 2023. John Boitnett. If you're not using this type of content in your marketing, you're missing out. Entrepreneur.com. February 2nd, 2023. Jalissa Castrodale. Chipotle is launching the fajita quesadilla, and it's all thanks to TikTok. Food and Wine. Foodandwine.com. February 28th, 2023. Understanding consumers is so important to marketing that a whole era of marketing emerged called the study of consumer behavior. We explore that area next. The consumer decision-making process. The first step in the consumer decision-making process is problem recognition, which may occur when your computer crashes and you realize you need a new one. This leads to an information search. You look for ads about computers. You may consult a secondary data source like CNET or other reviews from both experts and customers. And you'll likely seek advice from other people who have purchased computers. After compiling all this information, you evaluate alternatives and make a purchase decision. But your buying process doesn't end there. After the purchase, you may ask the people you spoke to previously how their machines perform and then do comparisons to your new computer. Marketing researchers investigate these consumer thought processes and behaviors at each stage in a purchase to determine the best way to help the buyer buy. As we mentioned, this area of study is called consumer behavior. Factors that affect consumer behavior include the following. Page 355. Learning creates changes in an individual's behavior resulting from previous experiences and information. If you've tried a particular brand of shampoo and don't like it, you've learned not to buy it again. Reference group is the group an individual uses as a reference. Reference group is the group an individual uses as a reference point in forming beliefs, attitudes, values, or behavior. A college student who uses a briefcase or messenger bag instead of a backpack may use business professionals as a reference group. Culture is the set of values, attitudes, and ways of doing things transmitted from one generation to another in a given society. The U.S. culture emphasizes and transmits the values of education, freedom, and diversity. Subculture is the set of values, attitudes, and ways of doing business. Subculture is the set of values, attitudes, and ways of doing things that results from belonging to a certain ethnic group, racial group, or other group with which one closely identifies, like, for example, teenagers. Cognitive dissonance is a type of psychological conflict that can occur after a purchase. Consumers who make a major purchase may have doubts about whether they got the best product at the best price. Marketers must reassure such consumers after the sale that they made a good decision. An auto dealer, for example, may forward positive reviews about the particular car a consumer purchased, offer product guarantees, and provide certain free services. McGraw-Hill Connect. I see it. Need help understanding the consumer buying process? Click on the video for a brief animated explanation. Many universities include courses in business-to-business marketing in their business curriculum. As you'll learn next, that market is a huge target for marketers. The business-to-business market, LO 13-6. Compare the business-to-business market and the consumer market. Business-to-business, B2B, Marketers include manufacturers, intermediaries such as retailers, institutions like hospitals, schools, and nonprofits, and the government. The B2B market is larger than the consumer market because items are often sold and resold several times in the B2B process before they reach the final consumer. B2B marketing strategies also differ from consumer marketing because business buyers have their own decision-making process. Several factors make B2B marketing different, including these. 1. Customers in the B2B market are relatively few. There are just a few large construction firms or mining operations compared to the over 123 million households in the U.S. consumer market. 2. Business customers are relatively large. That is, big organizations account for most of the employment in the production of various goods and services. Nonetheless, there are many small to medium-sized firms in the United States that together make an attractive market. 3. B2B markets tend to be geographically concentrated. For example, oil fields are found throughout the Southwest and Canada. Thus, B2B marketers can concentrate their efforts on a particular area and minimize distribution problems by locating warehouses near industrial centers. 4. Business buyers are generally more rational and less emotional than ultimate consumers. They use product specifications to guide buying choices and often more carefully weigh the total product offer, including quality, price, and service. 5. B2B sales tend to be direct, but not always. Tire manufacturers sell directly to auto manufacturers, but use intermediaries, such as wholesalers and retailers, to sell to ultimate consumers. 6. Whereas consumers' promotions are based more on advertising, B2B sales are based on personal selling. There are fewer customers, and they usually demand more personal service. Figure 13.7 shows some of the differences between buying behavior in the B2B and consumer markets. B2B buyers also use online stores to make purchases. You'll learn more about the business-to-business market in advanced marketing courses. Page 356. Figure 13.7. Comparing business to business and consumer buying behavior. Business to business market, consumer market. Market structure: relatively few customers, larger purchases, geographically concentrated. Consumer market: many potential customers, smaller purchases, geographically dispersed, require less technical products. Consumer market: many potential customers, smaller purchases, geographically dispersed. Products: require technical complex products, frequently require customization, frequently require technical advice, delivery, and after-sale service. Buyers are trained. Require less technical products, sometimes require customization, sometimes require technical advice, delivery, and after-sale service. No special training. Buying procedures: Negotiate details of most purchases. Follow objective standards. Formal processes involving specific employees. Closer relationships between marketers and buyers. Often buy from multiple sources. That's the business to business market. Consumer market. Accept standard terms for most purchases. Use personal judgment in formal process involving household members. Impersonal relationships between marketers and consumers. Rarely buy from multiple sources. Your prospects in marketing. Your prospects in marketing. There are a wider variety of careers in marketing than in most business disciplines. If you major in marketing, an array of career options will be available to you. You could become a manager in a retail store like Nordstrom or Target. You could do marketing research or work in product management. You could go into selling, advertising, sales promotion, or public relations. You could work in transportation, storage, or international distribution. You could design websites. There are just a few of the possibilities. These are just a few of the possibilities. Think, for example, of many ways to use social media, search engines, and other technologies in marketing. As you read through the following marketing chapters, consider whether a marketing career would interest you. Test prep. Can you define the terms consumer market and business-to-business market? Can you name and describe 5 ways to segment the consumer market? What is niche marketing? And how does it differ from one-to-one marketing? What are 4 key factors that make B2B markets different from consumer markets? Page 357. Summary. LO 13-1. Define marketing and apply the marketing concept to both for-profit and non-profit organizations. What is marketing? Marketing is the activity, set of institutions and processes for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and society at large. How has marketing changed over time? During the production era, marketing was largely a distribution function. Emphasis was on producing as many goods as possible and getting them to markets. By the early 1920s, during the selling era, the emphasis turned to selling and advertising to persuade customers to buy the existing goods produced by mass production. After World War II, the tremendous demand for goods and services led to the marketing concept era, when businesses recognized the need to be responsive to customers' needs. During the 1990s, marketing entered the customer relationship era, focusing on enhancing customer satisfaction and stimulating long-term customer loyalty. Today, marketers are using mobile and on-demand marketing to engage customers. What are the 3 parts of the marketing concept? The 3 parts of the marketing concept are 1, a customer orientation, 2, a service orientation, and 3, a profit orientation, that is marketing goods and services that will earn a profit and enable the firm to survive and expand. What kinds of organizations are involved in marketing? All kinds of organizations use marketing, including for-profit and non-profit organizations like states, charities, churches, politicians, and schools. LO 13-2. Describe the 4 Ps of marketing. How do marketers implement the 4 Ps? The idea behind the 4 Ps is to design a product people want, price it competitively, place it where consumers can find it easily, and promote it so consumers know it exists. LO 13-3. Summarize the marketing research process. What are the steps in conducting marketing research? 1. Define the problem or opportunity and determine the present situation. 2. Collect data. 3. Analyze the data. And 4. Choose the best solution. LO 13-4. Show how marketers use environmental scanning to learn about the changing marketing environment. What is environmental scanning? Environmental scanning is the process of identifying factors that can affect marketing success. Marketers pay attention to all the environmental factors that create opportunities and threats. Marketers pay attention to all the environmental factors that create opportunities and threats. What are some of the more important environmental trends in marketing? The most important global and technological change is probably the growth of online and mobile marketing. Another is the growth of consumer databases, with which companies can develop products and services that closely match consumers' needs. Marketers must monitor social trends like population growth and shifts to maintain their close relationship with customers. They must also monitor the dynamic, competitive, and economic environments. Page 358. LO 13-5. Explain how marketers apply the tools of market segmentation, relationship marketing, and the study of consumer behavior. What are some of the ways marketers segment the consumer market? Geographic segmentation means dividing the market into different regions. Segmentation by age, income, and education level is demographic segmentation. We study a group's values, attitudes, and interests using psychographic segmentation, determining which benefits customers prefer and using them to promote a product is benefit segmentation. Separating the market by usage is called volume segmentation. The best segmentation strategy is to use all the variables to come up with a consumer profile for a target market that's sizable, reachable, and profitable. What's the difference between mass marketing and relationship marketing? Mass marketing means developing products and promotions to please large groups of people. Relationship marketing tends to lead away from mass production and toward custom-made goods and services. Its goal is to keep individual customers over time by offering them products or services that meet their needs. What are some of the factors that influence the consumer decision-making process? Factors that influence the consumer decision-making process include learning, reference group, culture, subculture, and cognitive dissonance. LO 13-6. Compare the business-to-business market and the consumer market. What makes the business-to-business market different from the consumer market? Customers in the B2B market are relatively few and large. B2B markets tend to be geographically concentrated, and industrial buyers generally are more rational than ultimate consumers in their selection of goods and services. B2B sales tend to be direct, and there is much more emphasis on personal selling than in consumer markets. Key terms: benefit segmentation, brand name, business to business, B2B market, consumer market, customer relationship management, CRM, demographic segmentation, environmental scanning, focus group, geographic segmentation, marketing, marketing concept, marketing mix, marketing research, marketing segmentation, mass marketing, niche marketing, one-to-one marketing, primary data, product promotion, psychographic segmentation, relationship marketing, secondary data, target marketing, test marketing, volume or usage segmentation. Page 359, critical thinking. 1. When businesses buy goods and services from other businesses, they usually buy in large volume. Salespeople in the business-to-business market usually are paid on a consumer. Sales in the business-to-business market usually are paid on a commission basis. That is, they earn a certain percentage of each sale they make. Why might business-to-business sales, B2B sales, be a more financially rewarding career area than consumer sales? 2. Industrial companies sell goods such as steel, lumber, computers, engines, parts, and supplies. Name or research 3 such companies. 3. What environmental changes are occurring in your community? Is the community still feeling any impact of the economic crisis? Is your community slow or quickly recovering from the COVID-19 pandemic? What environmental changes in marketing are most likely to change your career prospects in the future? How can you learn more about those changes? What might you do to prepare for them? 4. Which of your needs are not being met by business and or nonprofit organizations in your area? Are there enough people with similar needs to attract an organization that would meet those needs? How would you find out? Putting principles to work. Purpose: to demonstrate how the internet can be used to enhance marketing relationships. Exercise: M&M's wants to add a little color and M&M's wants to add a little color and individuality to customers' events by helping people customize their own candy. See for yourself at M&M's. See for yourself at mms.com. Click Design Your Own and build an assortment that fits your style. 1. How does the M&M's website help the company strengthen its relationships with its stakeholders? Give examples to support your answer. 2. How do the elements of the website reflect M&M's target market? 3. Does M&M's invite comments or inspiration photos from visitors to its website? Does M&M invite comments or inspiration photos from visitors to its website? If so, how does this affect its attempt to build positive relationships with its customers? Developing career skills. Key: team analytic communication technology. 1. Think of an effective marketing mix for a new electric car or a brushless car wash for your neighborhood. Be prepared to discuss your ideas in class. Think of an effective marketing mix for a new electric car or a brushless car wash for your neighborhood. Be prepared to discuss your ideas in class. 2. Working in teams of 5. Think of a product or service your friends want but cannot get on or near campus. You might ask your friends at other schools what's available there. What kind of product would fill that need? Discuss your results in class and how you might go about marketing that new product or service. 3. Business has fallen off greatly at your upscale restaurant because of the problems caused by COVID-19. List 4 things you can do to win back the loyalty of your past customers. 4. Working in teams of 4 or 5. List as many brand names of pizza as you can, including from pizza shops, restaurants, supermarkets, and so on. Merge your list with the lists from other groups or classmates. Then try to identify the target market for each brand. Do they all seem to be after the same market, or are there different brands or different markets? What are these separate appeals? 5. Take a little time to review the concepts in this chapter as they apply to Harvest Gold, the restaurant we used as an example throughout. Have an open discussion in class about A. A different name for the restaurant, B. A location for the restaurant, C. A promotional program, and D. A way to establish a long-term relationship with customers. Page 360. Career Exploration. If you are interested in pursuing a career in marketing, here are a few to consider. Find out about the tasks performed, skills needed, pay, and opportunity outlook in these fields in the Occupational Outlook Handbook, OOH at bls.gov. Marketing Manager estimates the demand for a product and identifies markets as well as helps develop pricing strategies. Graphic Designer creates visual concepts using computer software or by hand to communicate ideas that inspire, inform, and captivate consumers. Develops visuals for advertisements, brochures, magazines, and corporate reports. Copywriter develops written content for advertisements, blogs, or other types of marketing. Develops written content for advertisements, blogs, or other types of marketing media. Sales Manager directs sales teams, sets sales goals, analyzes data, and develops training programs for sales representatives. Video Case 1, McGraw-Hill Connect. National Park Service, using the 4 Ps to help you find your park.
To celebrate its 100th birthday, the U.S. National Park Service, NPS, decided to host a big party at its 400 parks across the country. To make certain the party was successful, the Park Service wanted to invite as many Americans as possible to enjoy the festivities. The question NPS faced was, how do you get the word out to millions of Americans not familiar with the nation's parks? The answer: marketing. Interestingly, the National Park Service was founded with a public relations campaign created by Stephen Mather, one of the first leaders of NPS. His objective was to encourage Americans to visit the nation's beautiful parks and assist in preserving them for future generations. For many years, the park system was successful and essentially sold itself. During the 1950s and 1960s, Americans flocked to the nation's parks and brought home memories and vacation slides that they shared with friends and family. Americans flocked to the nation's parks and brought home memories and vacation slides that they shared with family and friends. In the 1970s, the parks remained a destination for Americans to go on vacation. However, as time progressed, newer generations did not share the same experiences or perceptions of the parks. Younger generations, including millennials and others, had little association with the nation. Younger generations, including millennials and others, had little association with the national parks and instead traveled to many different locations and venues. As the centennial approached, NPS wanted to connect with a new audience of Americans that tended to shun the parks or had little understanding of their scope and majesty. It identified multicultural millennials as a target audience that it wanted to pursue. The challenge was putting together a program that included a multimedia marketing campaign comprised of several forms of promotion. The ultimate goal was to create the next generation of park goers. NPS also sought to increase the visibility of national parks beyond the most famous parks such as Yosemite and Yellowstone. The cornerstone of the campaign was the website findyourpark.com. As the site, visitors could search for the parks based specifically on their interests or locations. At the site, visitors could search for the parks based specifically on their interests or locations. An active public relations campaign also enhanced media coverage of the marketing plan. NPS was extremely concerned that the marketing campaign not only attract younger audiences, but also remain true to the spirit of NPS and the history it had built over 100 years. The findyourpark.com campaign was a resounding success even beyond the expectations of NPS. Over the centennial year, NPS achieved 16.5 billion public relations impressions and 3 billion media impressions. The hashtag FindYourPark regularly trended on social media and developed 1.2 million followers. The service sold $10 million worth of merchandise and hosted more than 3,000 events across the country. The National Park Foundation raised $341 million in donations, a significant increase from NPS's initial goal of $100 million. The National Park Service successfully achieved its objectives for celebrating its 100th year by using a full range of marketing activities, including the use of social media and marketing research to enhance its brand. This video highlights how marketing applied correctly can assist any organization in reaching its target market. As long as NPS remains committed to the 4 Ps of marketing, it can look forward to another century of success showing off the wonders of the U.S. parks. Page 361. Thinking it over. 1. Why was the use of social media critical in the marketing plan of the National Park Service? 2. Why did NPS limit its use of marketing during the 1960s and 1970s? 3. Why was it important to partner with a public relations firm to develop the marketing campaign? Video Case 2, McGraw-Hill Connect. Bombas, putting your best foot forward. best entrepreneurs take plenty of time to plan and consider all their options before jumping headlong into a new business venture. David Heath and Randy Goldberg worked together for 5 years and shared many ideas about businesses they could start. But the right opportunity took a while to present itself. Then inspiration struck one day while Heath was scrolling through Facebook and saw a post that said socks were the most requested clothing item in homeless shelters. The pair finally saw the perfect opportunity to both start a business and solve a critical problem in society. And so Bombas Socks was born. Usually entrepreneurs move straight to raising capital after developing their idea. But Heath and Goldberg wanted to focus first on creating the ideal product. After surveying stores and studying all sorts of options, they began to notice a massive gap in quality between After surveying stores and studying all sorts of options, they began to notice a massive gap in quality between After surveying stores and studying all sorts of options, they began to notice a massive gap in quality between low-cost socks and premium ones sold at specialty retailers. The pair's goal then became to create a product that combined high-end quality with affordability so that they could distribute socks to as many as The pair's goal then became to create a product that combined high-end quality with affordability so that they could distribute socks to as many homeless shelters as possible. The entrepreneurs' efforts reminded them of buzzing bees, altruistic insects that work together and make a big impact on the world despite their small size. That's why they named their company Bombas, which is the Latin term for bumblebee. Despite their big ambitions, though, Heath and Goldberg's lack of funds prevented them from realizing their dream of giving back to the community. To make the market aware of their product, the partners released a video on the crowdfunding platform Indiegogo that ultimately landed them a spot on the television show Shark Tank. Their appearance on the popular program catapulted the company to the next level. Not only did Bombas become known to a much wider audience, but the company also received money to conduct market research and develop its product to its fullest extent. As a result, the company uncovered substantial improvements that allowed it to offer athletic socks in different heights, sizes, and fabric varieties. Of course, the key element of the company remains its social mission. For every pair of socks Bombas sells, the company donates a pair to a homeless shelter. So far, the company has distributed tens of millions of pairs of socks to organizations around the country, a number that will likely continue to grow alongside Bombas for years to come. Think it over. 1. Why did Bombas focus first on creating a high-quality product before seeking out capital from potential investors? 2. How did the show Shark Tank help Bombas on his path to success? What are the potential marketing benefits of Bombas' social mission? Page 362. Notes. Chapter 14, Developing and Pricing Goods and Services, page 363.